Okay, so today's
I don't
topic,
consent to be recorded.
well, you're here, so anyway, today's episode on the talk, we're gonna be talking about conspiracy theories. You guys up for the challenge?
No.
A little bit, yeah.
I think so.
Good enough, that's good enough. Okay, so since John's been really excited about this, you can go first.
Oh, thanks. Oh, well, okay. I don't know how to start, but I guess I guess I'll just start with my first one. I chose two. I have one about George Reeves, the original Superman from the 50s, and about his
Yeah.
conspiracy death. And then two, one, I mean, technically it's about Elvis, like in general, but specifically about a grave robbery plot to steal his body. So I'm gonna start with that the Elvis one because I find that to be more interesting, and it kind of like ties into what's going on right now with the new Elvis movie. Um, so like Elvis, we all know is like the king of rock and roll. Okay, he was very like an eccentric guy um, when he was alive, very eccentric and over the top with all his uh, performances. So a lot of people loved him and a lot of people hated him. Okay, he had a bunch of random ties with the United States when he joined the army, and after there's conspiracies that he had ties with the mafia, and we'll get into that in the conspiracy. But for some little background on this conspiracy, uh, Elvis Elvis died on August 16th, 1977. And then 2 days after, he was buried with his mother Gladys in a mausoleum at Forest Hill Cemetery in Memphis. A bondsman by the name of Lou Barron approached a guy named Bubba Green, who was in jail at the time, and asked him if he wanted to make some extra money. Bubba was in jail and was trying to make bail, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. Like, I need money. I need to get out. I'll do it." So Lou Lou Barron bailed him out, and then later, Bubba Green went to go meet up with a stranger, a random stranger with two suitcases. Very creepy stuff. Okay. Bubba says to this day that he does not know the man and doesn't remember what he looked like, which also adds to the creepiness.
Hmm.
Uh, Bubba says that he was from up north, and that's all he knows about the man. And then that the stranger asked him what he would do for $2 million.
Was
Okay.
this story like in the 90s?
No, it was recent. It was like right after Elvis died.
Hmm.
So like it went from Elvis's death on August 16th. 2 days later, he was buried, and then like a few days later, this all takes place. So all in like a small time span of 1977. So okay, so where was I? Yeah. So he says the man was from up north, and the stranger asked what he would do for $2 million, and then Bubba responds that and I quote, "My mama's not safe for $2 million," which doesn't make sense. Like, why would you say my mom's not safe? I feel like he meant to say like, "Oh, I want my mom safe." You know, that's just Southern language for you, I guess. Um, the stranger then opens up the suitcase, and inside the first suitcase was a map of Forest Hill Cemetery, a map of the mausoleum, and receipts for the casket of Elvis Presley, the casket he was buried in. And then the stranger asks Bubba, or tells him, "I need you to steal the body of Elvis Presley, or the casket of Elvis Presley." Now, what's interesting about this is that the casket was really heavy. Um, when Elvis died, he had two funerals, one for the public and one for his private family and his entourage and stuff like that. And like I said before, Elvis was known for being like eccentric and the king, so he needed a resting place fit for a king. So he got a casket made of copper, which is really like one of the more expensive
Yeah.
types of caskets made, and it's kind of heavy. And Elvis at the time, I believe, was weighing like 240 pounds. 250 pounds is what was reported, and the casket had to weigh between like 20 to 80 pounds, depending on what kind it was made at, like depending on the copper and stuff like that. And there was reports that it was made with also like a bunch of lavish jewelry and stuff, but I couldn't find any like actual proof of that. But in an article written by Rolling Stone, they reported that the casket weighed 900 pounds in total, which is kind of weird. Like 900 pounds is a lot, like a lot of weight
Yeah.
for. And Elvis had 9 pallbearers, and all of them reported saying that the casket was really heavy, and like some of their knees were buckling. It was that heavy.
Hmm.
So that's pretty interesting to the conspiracy. So back to the story of Bubba. Bubba knew that he couldn't do the job alone, so he acted fast, getting 3 men for the job. He used, or sorry, let me go back. The second suitcase had $1 million in cash in it, and he used that $1 million in cash to go recruit 3 other men. One was named a man named Ronnie Atkins, another Bruce Nelson, and a guy named Mike, who doesn't have a last name. It's just Mike. So the 4 of them planned to steal the body of Elvis on a Friday night, but Mike had to work late, so the plans changed. They were going to do it the following night on the Saturday. That night, on that Saturday night, Mike waited by the mausoleum, or in the mausoleum, and waited for the other 3 to pull up. They all rode together. Bruce, Bubba, and Rodney rode together. They pulled up. Bubba got out to meet Mike in a truck to go to the mausoleum, like break in and get the body and use the truck to get away. And Bruce and Rodney in the car that the original 3 pulled up in were like the lookouts. Okay. When Bubba Green got out, he couldn't find Mike. So what's reported is Mike saw something suspicious, and before like the rest of the gang could get there, he drove away and was left the scene of the crime early because he doesn't want to go back to or go to jail. So the other 3 didn't know this. Bubba gets out, couldn't find Mike, but he saw 3 couple flashlights, and knew something was up and ran back to the truck that his other friends were, Bruce and Rodney, were at. Okay. When he got there, he and the other 2 were surrounded by SWAT, a whole SWAT team. So somebody called the cops on them, or somebody ratted them out. Team was waiting for them. Rodney was not arrested, but Bruce and Bubba were. Plot twist: Rodney was the snitch. Okay, he snitched on Bruce and all of them, which was bad. Bubba, since he recently got out of jail, if he got arrested, was going to be looking at 33 years in prison. So he was like basically a life sentence for him. And finding that out, he threatened Rodney, the snitch, with like he was going to beat him to death and stuff like that. So Rodney took off running, ran to the hospital as a safe place, and he complained, "Oh, I'm having heart pains. I need help." But while he was doing this, he was complaining or demanding, like, I'm a police officer, help me right now. Like, I should be the first person. Okay. All this turned out to be false. Like when the doctors figured out that he wasn't sick and all that, the cops arrested Rodney for impersonating a police officer. So the snitching, all the story that, oh, they're gonna steal the body, the cops couldn't use because Rodney was a criminal. So all the charges were dropped. Everyone was set free. But Bubba did get Bubba Green got charged with criminal trespassing because he was found on Forest Hills Mausoleum. But that was just the background of the situation going up. Okay, the theories surrounding this whole plot, there's 2 big main ones, which is the ones I'm going to cover, and they're actually pretty interesting in my opinion. So, the first theory of who set them and why they were doing this, the person behind it, everybody believes, is the mob. Okay, so the guy that originally approached Bubba Green in jail and the guy with the suitcase all were connected and working with the mob, who was trying to figure out if Elvis was truly dead. Like, we all know that, we've all heard the thing, Elvis is still alive, Elvis, Elvis never died. But a lot of this comes back to Elvis's ties with the mafia and the mob. Elvis was performing in Vegas for a lot of his later career, and many people believe that he was performing in Vegas as a way for the Vegas mafia to do money laundering. But there's some other conspiracies that Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, was using Elvis to pay off his gambling debts, because he had a lot of gambling debts. So he made ties with the mafia. Colonel Tom Parker made ties with the mafia to say, hey, if Elvis plays here, all my gambling debts are wiped free. So those are two theories. But the main one I'm talking about is Elvis was working with the mafia for money laundering. But then the FBI found out about all of this, and since Elvis was so famous, like, he couldn't go to jail. That would look bad on everybody if he goes to jail, or if he. So he works with his ties with the FBI, because he was a U.S. soldier for I think it was World War II. But yeah, he was working with the FBI, and the FBI was gonna, like, fake his death, put him in witness protection program and fake his death. The mafia didn't believe this, so they went to go steal the body of Elvis and wanted to run DNA tests, say, hey, is he really dead? If so, if not, we're gonna go find you and kill you ourselves. And then the mafia, and also the mafia, there were reports. Sorry, the reports about Elvis's body at the private funeral, because it was an open casket. They reported that Elvis was sweating, which is weird because a dead body can't sweat. Like, all of its moisture is taken out when they embalm them.
Mhm.
So, which is weird. So people believe, oh, Elvis was, the body at in the casket was actually a wax body instead of the real body. So that was the first theory, that the mob was trying to get him. And
Hey, wait, can I interrupt this really quick? Okay, I want to ask you a question. Right?
Do you think Elvis is dead?
Yeah, right now, yeah, because it's been so long. He died in 1977. He would be like over 80, 90 years old now.
But
But
look at Sean
time-
Connery. Sean Connery's still kicking. I mean, like,
That's
it's
true,
still a
but-
possibility.
My guy
I mean-
Elvis was cracked up on drugs almost every single day of his later life.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, dude was a drug head. Yeah, that doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
An amphetamine mastermind. That's all I can say. Yeah. So when he was, like, maybe in the 70s, maybe I think he's still alive, like, faked his death to get out of it, but now he's dead. But so the second theory is one that seems more plausible in my opinion, is the theory that Elvis's father and his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, wanted to move Elvis's body from Forest Hills Cemetery and Mausoleum to Graceland, the place where he lived, and the place where he lived. Sorry. Vernon Presley was Elvis's father, and when Elvis died, Vernon went to the city of Memphis and asked, "Can I move Elvis's body or bury Elvis's body in Graceland?" They were going to use Elvis as a tourist attraction to get people to go visit Graceland, keep Elvis's name alive, and use him for money, because that's all they did was during his life. Is his manager and his father and his family used Elvis as their means to an end. They used him for money and just monetary gain, thought of him as an object and all that. But the city of Memphis said no, unless there were signs or speculation that Elvis's body could have been, like, tampered with or stolen. So the theory goes that Vernon set this up, sent the guys to go steal the body, called the cops, or forced Rodney to snitch, set it up so that he can move the body. Ultimately, Elvis's body did get moved because of all of this, and now Graceland is a tourist attraction and people can go by, can pay $70 to walk around, which is insane. But yeah, those are the two theories I have.
So you
for
can so you can right now go pay $70 and see his grave.
Yeah, you can't see
Hey,
the body, but you can.
I was
see
about
the
to say,
feet.
do you guys want to go pilfer Elvis's grave really quick?
Yeah.
I'm down.
It's really nothing special. You can go Google pictures and stuff because that's what I did. I Googled pictures. Is there anything special about this? No, it's just a tombstone with Elvis's misspelled name, and then his house, which is in like pristine condition from when he was alive.
So is there like, have people like actually like tested that that's actually him? You know, do you think there's, I mean, I asked earlier, I think there might actually be a possibility. I mean, I think nowadays it'd be a lot harder, like you said, because I mean, we have technology now. Like we're gonna be able to tell that, hey, yo, this guy's not dead, bro. This ain't Elvis, man. Like I'm sure someone's done it by now, you know, even with security and stuff.
Well, like if, in my opinion, if they were trying to prove that to keep Elvis dead, I think they would like conjure up or fake a bunch of documents for the public to see, because they did have ties with the U.S. Army and the U.S. government. So, like, there's a possibility that all of this could be, the public stuff could just be made up for the public to, to ease the public's mind.
This kind of reminds me of what the Soviets did with Hitler's body. How they like just got some random woman's skeleton and said, "Here, this is Hitler's body." So that whenever the scientists went and tried to like find out whether that was Hitler's body, it turned out that the DNA was for some random woman instead of Hitler. That's why people think that he's living in Argentina somewhere with grandkids, raising Nazi children.
I mean, maybe that was Hitler. You know, maybe Hitler was actually turned into a woman. You never know, man. It's 2022. You got to keep your options open. You know, there's possibility for everything.
Well,
the whole time Hitler was a woman, and he just cut his hair really short. And all that.
Well, I mean, they did feed him lots of stuff to make him have hormones. So
Yeah, like steroids. Yeah, I recently
Yeah.
heard about that. I remember it was Julian, was it you that told me that? Because we were discussing like Soldier Boy or something like that. And I
Was
remember
not
you
me.
like Hitler being fed steroids. I don't know if it was you that mentioned it or if it was Adam
No,
or
it wasn't
you.
me.
But yeah, I remember I recently heard that when I was like, you know what? That kind of makes sense because it's like if you see how animated he is during the speeches he gives. I don't know if any of y'all like watched old Hitler speeches. Like he is so animated, bro. He's clearly on like crack or something like that, bro. He's clearly drugged up, bro. Like you can't be that hyped about the Third Reich. I'm sorry, man. This is not how it works. Like even if you're the leader of the Third Reich, like I recently heard about that, and then that made everything make sense, man. And it also made sense as why he made so many stupid decisions towards the end of the war. But that's
We
that's
also had
another
brain
video.
disease.
yeah.
Yeah.
What they tried to do, the English, they had like crazy ideas of what to do with Hitler. So the first idea was, let's feed him. I know guys have steroid. Okay. Basically, they were gonna feed some woman some hormones for women to Hitler, because then he can become a woman or something like that. And then whenever he becomes a woman, he'll be more rational and be more empathetic to the war and then end the war or something like that. But whenever
Yeah.
they get, wasn't it like a chocolate bar or something?
No, that didn't work out because feeding it'll just go inside the stomach and burn up. So that doesn't really do much. So they tried to give him a chocolate bar that'll instantly kill him, but he just left it up on his shelf and never touched it. And then they tried to do lots of other stuff, but it never worked. And they tried to poison his food, but what he did was he made one of his cooks drink the food before he drank it, and the cook wouldn't do it, so he knew it was poisoned. And they tried all these stuff and never worked, so they just gave up at the end.
He also bombed his office.
Yeah.
There's a Tom Cruise movie about that called, I think, Valkyrie.
No, Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Okay, so now I'm gonna be talking about my conspiracy theory. So
Wait. Can you go back to that Elvis thing?
yeah, sure.
You know, it was kind of funny because there's pictures of him with Nixon, and Nixon's giving him a federal narcotics badge. You ever hear about that? Like,
No, but
at,
I know he met with a bunch of presidents and a bunch of like
yeah,
officials.
Nixon was such a big fan of Elvis that he gave him a narcotics badge, and Elvis was technically a federal agent. And like back in whatever Nixon was doing the war on drugs or whatever, like that was the badge to have back in the day. So he pulled over a plane. Also, Elvis had blonde hair. That's it.
Okay,
And he
yeah,
died.
that one, yeah,
Yeah,
that
he-
one I knew. That the blonde hair one I knew, but like the narcotics badge, bro. Do you imagine having the ability to pull over a plane, just say, hey,
Yeah,
yo,
I watched
stop
it.
in the name of the law.
I watched Drunk History and found that out. I have to Google it. It's all true. Like Jack Black plays Elvis, and it's him. It's hilarious. It's on Drunk History.
I mean, like, think
Oh,
about it though. Like, imagine a plane is coming at you full like a Boeing 747. I don't know if that was like if that was like a thing back then, but like, imagine like a Boeing 747 coming right at you. You whip out your narcotic badge and it just says to stop.
Well, because back in the day, it was Nixon's war on drugs, so it was like a really high prestigious thing. Like it was like really important back then. That was the badge to have. So it's basically a get out of jail free card badge,
Dude, he can do anything. He's basically
basically.
like, yeah.
And he died of drugs. That's kind of funny.
yeah. No, technically, Elvis died of constipation. There's so many stories that I found out like about Elvis researching this, but the funniest one I saw was like he died of constipation from all the drugs that he had.
Yeah,
He didn't poop in like months. It's crazy.
yeah. And then what's it called? He couldn't play the guitar. Have you ever heard that one?
No,
Like,
I
No,
haven't.
I did not.
Okay, so basically, I learned this from my history of rock class. Basically, Elvis uses guitar as like a security thing. Like he was like he would get so nervous and panic or whatever. Like he would use it as like a security blanket kind of thing, but like a security guitar. And like he could play like a couple chords, but like when you see him perform, he's not really playing the guitar. He's just strumming like a couple chords and stuff, and that's pretty much it. He cannot play the guitar.
Oh.
It's kind of funny.
So basically they dub music over it.
Well, no, someone else will be playing the guitar and stuff. He's just a good singer.
Hmm.
But it's kind of interesting.
Hey,
Like
yo,
those-
have y'all seen that video of like Elvis without the singing? He's like all the squeaking on the floor and he's like doing the dance. Oh my gosh, dude. I saw that like a week ago again for the first time in like years. Oh my gosh, bro. That killed me, man. Whoever came up with that, where it's like he's like doing a really bad rendition of the guitar, his dancing's all crap, and he can't sing for shit. It's hilarious, man. Props to whoever came up with that meme, man.
Okay, so I'm guessing all the Elvis talk is over. Unless
I mean,
there's
he did
still
have a
more.
twin brother who died at like 6 months. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he had a stillborn brother that either he ate in the womb or died. Or wait, was this? Yeah, I did see that.
So he had like a twin brother that he ate up.
Well,
Yeah, in the
it
womb
died
or
in the
something like
whatever.
that.
It
Yeah.
died really, really young, less than a year. I don't know what stage of pregnancy or I don't know. I just knew he had a twin brother.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but now my conspiracy theory is, so you guys heard of the planes in the sky that shoot up gas and you see those strokes of clouds in the sky?
You mean farming planes or pesticide planes?
Or
Those
crop
pesticide-
dusters?
Yeah, crop
What,
dusters.
okay, whatever they are. Yeah, yes. So basically, in 10th grade, I had this substitute teacher who was like obsessed with like she genuinely believed all these theories. She said that whenever those planes went over, that means the government was shooting chemicals to brainwash us and to make us believe that everything is okay or whatever, and basically become like brainwashed, mindless zombies. So she had a farm that was protected from that or something like that. I think she like had a cover or something, so it wouldn't be touched by any of those weird chemicals. And every time they'd see the planes fly by, they'd run inside to be protected from those chemicals or something like that. And then like she believed in weird stuff like our souls are in this weird dimension where before we are born, we choose what game we want to play. Like there's game Earth, game Mars or whatever, and like we chose Earth, so that's why we're in Earth or something like that. And like she believes that there's secret messages in the Bible or something like that. She's like way off the chart. And I
I
was
mean, the Bible one's not wrong though,
no
because
like no I know there are secret messages in the Bible. I know that, but she believed like the Bible stood for like this isn't the real world or whatever. Like we're in a it's weird stuff. Like I've heard the Bible stuff, but this is like off the chart. I've never heard those before. And I continued trying to talk to her, but like she had a journal too where she wrote down everything. It was like this big.
Mhm.
She just continued talking about all these theories. Like I think she even talked about something about like the government is fake or they're trying to brainwash us because then we won't believe because then we won't be able to exit this world and go back to wherever world we originally came from or wherever. It's just weird. I never
it's,
saw her again after that day. I
it
think she
sounds
got
very
fired.
weird. Sounds like she got
He
out.
got
She got
infected
out.
by the UFO.
Or maybe the FBI silenced her. I have no clue. What probably happened is that some kid said basically telltaled on her, and then she was never seen again.
The government caught up to her, guys. They took her away.
Okay, so this Zoom's gonna end in 8 minutes. Do you want me to start a new Zoom, or do you want to talk about? Is someone else gonna talk about a theory?
I'll do one real quick. Mine's really short.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I wrote a paper down because I did this like really quickly, so I didn't know we needed one. So you guys ever hear of Operation High Jump?
No.
So after World War II, the U.S. government was like, "Hey, Admiral Byrd, we want you to go to Antarctica and search for like anything weird, suspicious, or pretty much alien life, essentially, just to see what's in Antarctica." And
And they
basically,
found
part of it,
Hollow Earth. They found Hollow Earth in the land of the King Kong. Is that
well,
what
let me finish. That's part of the theory,
Are you
but
serious?
yes, okay. So basically, parts of Antarctica are off limits to people. Like it's like forbidden to go there. So Alvin Bird, he goes, he spends some time in Antarctica. He comes back, he's put in isolation for like 2 weeks, and then immediately after isolation, he gets the Medal of Valor for the success of his mission. But everything's classified. He can't talk about it. So there's a theory that he found something, either alien life or Hollow Earth, or like not really Hollow Earth, like some pocket where like there's something weird or something. There's a theory that he found something that qualifies as alien or like unique enough to be like not non-normal, because he got the Medal of Honor for the success of his mission. And then recently they've discovered weird skulls, like a primitive race of humans, but like they're like really intact, which also plays into that Hollow Earth kind of theory that Nick said. So I don't know. It's called Operation High Jump. It's pretty interesting.
I actually heard something very similar to it. I think it's the same operation. Basically, the U.S. government sent, I think, a whole bunch of ships to like conquer Antarctica or whatever. I think they were gonna even nuke it or something like that. But then
I also heard about
all,
that one too.
all of a sudden, they all the ships went back and everyone was afraid and they won't say a word about it. There's like conspiracies saying that they either found a race of aliens. There's some people that spoke up and said that they found weird blimps, like huge blimps, weird technology that they've never seen in their time. Very futuristic stuff. And after that, they never spoke of it again. I think the U.S. government silenced them or whatever. But yeah, we don't know anything else about that.
I mean, honestly,
Silence them.
as long as they don't bring back the Thing, I'm good, bro. Because it's like, I don't know if you guys have watched it. Have you guys watched the Thing?
I
You know what I'm
Russell,
talking
yeah.
about?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so the quick backstory for this. It's a movie by John Carpenter. It's really good. It's also really, really like it makes your skin crawl with like the special effects because they're so good for the time. It's disgusting. But essentially it's a group of explorers at Antarctica, right? And they're just, doing their usual stuff. And then they've come across this dog that runs across. And it turns out the dog is a shape-shifting alien that all it needs is to just absorb someone and it could take on their like voices and stuff. So it's like almost impossible to tell who it is. And so it's like the whole movie is essentially them being like super paranoid. And it's like, it's a really good movie, but it's like they showed that if it got up to civilization, it would take over the world in like, I think it was 72 days or something like that. Cause it's like, it just duplicates people over and over and over. It's like, it's a really scary concept, honestly, because it's like the scientists themselves they're not like normal horror movie stereotypes. You know, like have you guys seen the Geico commercial where it's like they'll like hide behind like let's hide behind the
Oh, yeah,
chainsaws
yeah.
where he has to get his weapons.
They're
It's like,
actually
let's
smart.
head for the cemetery and they're like screaming that. No, they're not like that. These are like genuine smart. Like they come up with a way to test their blood and stuff. It's like they like isolate people who they think are suspicious. They get weapons ahead of time. It's like they're making good decisions. They're just making like one mistake and it will cost each of them their lives. You know, it's like it's one of those where it's like it's really well drawn out, but it's like if they bring back a thing, it's like, bro, I'd rather them just die in that area. Like I'd rather
Yeah.
not know what's in Antarctica than have like a weird shape-shifting alien just come out of nowhere and just kill us. You know what I mean? Because it's like I'm not ready to die like that, man. If I'm gonna die like that, it's like I better be the main character of the movie and better live to the end if I'm gonna die like that, bro. Like I'm screw dying like that pretty early on, you know. But
I'll say
yeah,
the
like as long as they don't come back with that, I'm fine with whatever they do with Antarctica, bro. They could blow up Antarctica for all I care. You know, they could destroy all the glaciers in Antarctica for all I care. So long as no weird things just come out and just attack us from Antarctica, I really could care less about what's there.
scientists recently found this weird bacteria. So bacteria don't reproduce, they don't have any sexual organs, they don't digest or anything like that. But they found this one bacteria that had teeth, had sexual organs, and it was able to digest. Like it had a full digestive system and stuff. And they found it after like getting one, I think, spear of uh the old dirt from Antarctica. And after that, they were like, yeah, we're not going to go to Antarctica anymore. We're not getting any samples or any of that stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure they even found a few viruses over there that can, like, if it got out, it could kill humans like that. Kind of like COVID. But
I
yeah,
mean, but like honestly though, would you react any differently? You know, bacteria aren't like really threatening in any way, and then you find one that's like fully functional. It has like actual reproductive organs. It can mate with other bacterias. It has teeth. It has a digestive system. Like I don't know about you, but I don't know how I'm recovering from that mentally. You know, I'm just
Yeah.
saying this like little bacteria with like its junk hanging out, and it's like eating all the other bacteria as it goes and pooping them out. So I don't know if I'm reacting to that any differently, man. I might just join them and just dip it in that mission. It doesn't matter how many millions they give me, bro. I'm not going in and investigating some man-eating bacteria or something like that.
No, my
Mhm.
question is, if there was intelligent life found there, more advanced life, why haven't they taken over the world? We are such a stupid race. It would be so easy for us
That is,
to be conquered. Come on.
that's
I
actually
mean, have
true.
you seen the Tomorrow War? Maybe it's like they're frozen there or something like that by accident. I mean, it could be like something like that.
Or maybe
Maybe.
we're so dumb that they don't even bother conquering us.
They're just like, nah, man, these guys aren't worth it, man. We could spend our energy elsewhere. Let's just try to get back home.
Or maybe they can only live in the freezing cold.
Well, then
Because-
what's the point of coming to Earth? It's like 89, 90%, you know, just
Yeah.
warmth. It's like, why would you even come here? You could only conquer Russia, Canada, and like Scandinavia,
Minnesota.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, just go after Minnesota, bro. It's like, honestly, if I was an alien, I wouldn't even bother coming here, man. There's so many.
I
Just
wouldn't
let
either.
humans
Like-
destroy themselves, bro. Humans
Yeah.
will destroy themselves in due time, man.
It's-
I don't need to come in here. It's gonna be like the monsters on Maple Street. All I got to do is make a cameo appearance, and everything else will take care of each other. You know, like they'll all start like a race war, fighting over like their shape on their nipples, or like Rick and Morty or something like that. And it's like, oh man, you were born in Minnesota? Well, I was born in Chicago. I'm gonna kill you. And it just like this escalates from there. Like, yeah, I can see that happening.
I mean, they did that in what's it called? Uh, the Twilight Zone. They had the exact same premise. Basically,
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about. The monsters are
Yeah.
due on Maple Street. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Twilight Zone. All right, okay, we got less than a minute. We got to pause this real quick.
Okay, we'll be back after these short messages.
Hey guys, you've heard of Project Lost Zone 2. Now we're expanding to 2 new channels. Yes, 2 new channels. Firstly, we have Muslim Sign Up, which is an Islamic channel which covers topics such as Islamic rules, the basics of Islam for new Muslims, how to debate with other religions, like interfaith dialogue, and much, much more, such as Quranic recitation. While History Sign Up is our second news channel. It covers topics such as history podcasts, monthly research videos, and much more, all for a minor price of $12.99 for your monthly subscription plans.
It's Zemrick 555 and a product Lost 22 Productions, sponsored by Ferrari. Go fast, go furious, vroom vroom.
I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, our social media accounts. You should follow us on our Facebook and Instagram. Link in the description below.
Okay, Nick, you never talked about your theory.
Oh, okay. So I get to go now. All right. Okay. All right, buckle in, boys. I got a murder trivia or a murder conspiracy for you guys. So, in honor of where I am right now. So, for those of you guys who don't know, this is not my house. I'm at a family member's house in Arkansas, Benton specifically. And so this story is called "The Boys on the Train." And so this is a real murder conspiracy. Like, this is a whole thing that happened, like, I would say maybe like 10 miles from me at most. You know, like there's like the railroad tracks that the story is based on is like I could drive to them like right now and probably be there by the end of this meeting. So, all right. So the story goes, it says about 4 a.m. on August 23rd, 1987, the crew on board a 75-car, 6,000-ton Union Pacific freight train, more than a mile long and traveling at a rate more than 50 miles per hour en route to Little Rock, Arkansas, spotted 2 young boys lying motionless across the tracks about 300 feet ahead. So already this is getting pretty high intense there, right? Members of the locomotive crew also stated that the bodies were partly covered by green tarp, although police disputed the existence of any such tarp and none were ever recovered from the scene. So it's already getting mad suspicious already. All right. Nearby were a .22 caliber rifle and a flashlight, both parallel to the bodies. The boys did not move despite the sound and vibration of the approaching train, its emergency brakes, and its air horn. More than 1,000 feet of decelerating train crossed the point where the bodies lay before it came to a stop. I mean, like, obviously, it's like a 70. I think I read it was like a 75-car train, and it's like going at hundreds of miles an hour. I want to guess like 150, 200. I don't know how fast trains go. I just know it's going a lot. And in 300 feet, it's not stopping that quickly, no matter how quickly emergency brakes are. So, yeah, they were toast, right? So the train crew reported the incident to railroad and law enforcement authorities. By 4:40 a.m., police arrived on the scene. Police never found the tarp that was reported. By the way, it was reported by every member of the crew of the train that they saw a tarp there. So, yeah, this is literally getting it. So the boys had reportedly left home at about midnight to go hunting. The gun and flashlight near the body suggested they were using a hunting technique known as spotlighting, which involves using a bright light to scan for animals whose eyes brightly reflect the light after dark. So, as the story goes, I think they were hunting rabbits specifically, and it's like that's illegal, like after dark to do that. But I mean, these guys are like best friends, so it's like one of their favorite activities to do. You know, like kids have activities, right? So now the autopsies. The state medical examiner, Dr. Malik, ruled the death an accident as a result of marijuana intoxication, saying the boys had smoked the equivalent of 20 marijuana cigarettes and fell asleep on the tracks. All right. The parents did not accept this finding, understandably so, and conducted their own investigation. In March 1988, Dr. James Garrett of San Antonio offered a second opinion and was skeptical of the findings about marijuana. A second autopsy by Georgia medical examiner Dr. Joseph Burton, so they got 2 separate doctors from different states to investigate this, found the equivalent of 1 or 2 marijuana cigarettes, not the 20 as per reported by the first doctor. A grand jury ruled the deaths a probable homicide. When it was found that Don Henry, one of the kids' names, shirt contained evidence of stab wound to the back, and Kevin Ives, the other guy, skull may have been crushed by his own rifle, the ruling was changed to definite homicide. Don Henry's father also noted that he did not believe his son would risk his gun getting scratched by laying it on the gravel. So here's where it gets even better somehow. 1 week before the boys died, a man wearing military fatigues was spotted not far from the train tracks. When police officer Danny Allen attempted to stop him, the man opened fire and managed to disappear into the night. On the same night the boys died, a similar looking man dressed in military fatigues was spotted 200 yards away from the trail tracks that the kids were murdered at. This has been reported by 3 or 4 people, which is a little sus that so many people are at the scene, but we'll get to that later. The usual theory given about the boys' deaths, believed by Linda Ives, the mother, involves drug trafficking. So here's where this gets even better. So have you guys seen the movie American Made?
No.
Have any of you seen the movie American?
No.
It has Tom Cruise in it. So
Yes.
so you've seen it. So basically the whole plot or what the story is based on, it's based on a true story. It's there's this pilot who is flying for the CIA, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Julian. He's flying for the CIA, getting stuff, weapons and all that stuff, and like speakers and stuff like that from point A to point B. But it's found out that he is actually also smuggling drugs back into the country. So he was originally stationed in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I think, and he got moved to Mena, Arkansas, where he would drop off these, like he would drive low or he would fly low and he would drop off these crates of bricks of cocaine, presumptively. And so what the theory is that these kids saw something they really shouldn't have been seeing late at night at 4 a.m, and they were murdered. So the theory is the boys came upon the drug drop from airplane similar to Barry Seal's, that's the name of the guy, operation near Mena, Arkansas, and were murdered. Dan Harmon was the prosecutor for them. He originally was the good guy in the story. However, he was also later arrested for dealing drugs. And what makes it even better is that a lot of the witnesses that he was like prosecuting for, they ended up dying because they were always saying, oh, I got information on said thing. I got the information for this. I got all this other things, like I got information that could really help with this. So he is one person that actually ended up getting implicated in the murder. So multiple reports have said that it was 2 people, him and Keith McCaskill, who died before he could go on trial. So he was reported saying that during the sheriff's election that they have here in Arkansas, that if this sheriff lost, he was going to fear for his life. So apparently, according to my family who grew up in this time, where like all the witnesses died, I think there was like 5 or 6 witnesses, and Keith McCaskill was apparently going around thanking his family, telling them he loves them, setting up his own funeral. And 2 days after the sheriff lost the election, he died. So he was also implicated in the actual murders. He was stabbed to death, get this, 113 times. 113 times. Now, call me crazy, but I don't think it needs 100. You don't think you need 113 times to stab someone to death. So I will say that, yeah, he kind of had something suspicious going on. And get this bet, as the death of Henry and Ives, the names of the kids, as well as other suspicious sightings and deaths listed above, because I'm reading this on Wikipedia, join the list of deaths believed to be associated with the drug running of Barry Seal and cover-up of drug trafficking activity during the late 80s in Arkansas, and continued after Seal's murder the year prior to this incident. So another thing that also helps with this as well, in Oklahoma, there was one situation that was exceedingly similar to this. So the victim, I don't remember the name of the victim, was lined up parallel to the train tracks, had a tarp over him, had a gun next to him, also had a flashlight next to him, and was found dead. So the reason they thought this was also definite homicide as well is when a body gets run over by a train, right? It's going to splurt out a ton of blood normally, right? There's going to be blood everywhere. There was barely any blood, which means that the bodies have been dead for a bit and that they've been drained of it. So it's like they've been just beaten to death. So this is one of those that is like, it's still actually unsolved. And as recently as 2015, there are people claiming that they saw who did it. And they say it's the common saying is the Dan Harmon and Keith McCaskill are the actual murderers, and that there was a hooker that helped with said tarp. but they've never found the tarp. So it's like it's really suspicious. But yeah, so that Dan Harmon guy that actually turned out to be the bad guy, he was originally the prosecutor. He turned out to be like one of the guys in the actual case. He was trying to cover it up himself because he would like interview people and then like right after that they would die. So it's like it's very interesting. It's one of those that's like I didn't know about it until my parents told me about it, or well, until my family members told me about it. It's like it's pretty crazy stuff, honestly. So yeah, that's one of my theories, right?
Was
That's just
that
the
was
that
this
huh?
whole event in the 90s or 80s?
This was late 80s, very early 90s. And this also, by the way, the firm that Dan Harmon worked for was Hillary Clinton's Rose law firm or something like that. So this could go all the way up to Bill Clinton, all the way up to the highest level. So this is like when he's governor of Arkansas. So this theory does get pretty crazy if you look at it deeper and deeper. So yeah, that's one of my theories. The second one, I'm gonna have to pull this one up. This is a pretty common story. I don't know if have you guys ever heard of the name Dan Cooper? He goes by the alias of DB Cooper.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
I've heard.
From
Yes,
Loki.
I've heard of this.
Okay,
From Loki.
so for those of you who don't know, all right, so on
We all
November
know.
24th, 1971, a man in a business suit calling himself Dan Cooper, media invented and popularized DB, boarded a plane from Portland to Seattle, told a stewardess he had a bomb, showed her a briefcase with a device inside her that convinced her it was real. He then demanded $200,000 and 4 parachutes, which the crew gave him. And when the plane landed, he released the passengers but held some crew hostage for his second demand, a flight to Mexico. When that plane was in the air, Cooper astonished the crew by jumping out of it into the night sky. He was never seen again. The case has baffled the FBI and the public ever since. They have closed the case in 2016, but there is plenty of actual like things that people say that he's still alive. He didn't die just straight falling to the ground. Like his parachutes worked and stuff like that. And so this one, I don't think it's true, but it would be hilarious if it was, because he got $200,000 back then, which is like $1 million now or like $2 million now. Like I don't know, it's like inflation, what inflation is, but it's like it increased exponentially. And so what people say that he did is he founded a website. Does anyone have any idea what website he could be talking about?
Amazon,
Nope.
Facebook.
Facebook.
Wait, John, what was your guess?
Facebook.
Nope.
Twitter.
Nope.
Google.
It's a very popular one that whenever I say it, you're gonna know it. But it's IMDb. IMDb Cooper. like IMDb. Like that is the theory that I saw. I was like, you know what? As unlikely as that is to be true, I really freaking want that to be true. This man literally jumps out, like holds a plane hostage with a bomb, jumps out of the plane with a ton of money, lands, and then founds a website with said money that he stole. So it's like, could you imagine? That's like movie. The fact that there hasn't been a movie about this guy is insane. But like, could you imagine just watching a movie where the guy literally jumps out of a plane with a ton of money, a bunch of parachutes, and then when he lands, he just goes, you know what? I'm gonna go start a movie review website. It's like, could you like that sounds like the plot straight out of something that I would throw in the garbage, but I would always watch. I don't know about you, but I think that's probably one of the most creative ones that I've ever seen. Because it's like I wouldn't have thought of that. You know, it's like odds are it wasn't true because I mean the actual jumping of the flight happened in like the 1970s. So it's like the odds of him waiting to however long IMDb got founded to start the website with the money is exceedingly small. But it is pretty cool that the man's like never got found. You know what I mean? It's like, do you know how hard it is to not get found by the FBI with something as stupid as that?
I
It's like
mean,
it's one thing if it's a serial killer. That's one thing, right?
yeah.
But if you're jumping out of a plane, like you got to be found at some point. Either your body is dead or it's like people got to see you. Is like the fact that people have yet to see him and no one really claims. I mean, there's like a girl who claimed that is like his her late uncle plotted like the hijacking at a family gathering like a year or two before. It's like that's a light example of someone who says like, oh my gosh, it's him. But it's like, I mean, yeah, sure, she has the last name. She can make the claim whatever she wants. But it's like, really speaking, I mean, we'll never know because he probably is dead by this point. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I don't want to think he died in the plane or jumping out of the plane. But like, he probably did because it's like, I mean, I know you have 4 parachutes, but I mean, there's got to be something going wrong.
mean,
like the money, you losing the money or something
Yeah,
like
the money would go flying everywhere. Like,
and he
Exactly.
would
Why
have. They
not
could have
use
found
the
the body.
area?
It's like, but yeah, they also couldn't find the body, which makes it just better. But it's like, dog, do you know how much balls you have to just literally just hold a plane hostage, just say, just have like a bomb strapped like on your chest or in a suitcase or whatever the heck he did, and then say, hey, I need a flight to Mexico. Tell him open the hatch and just jump out with a bunch of money that you stole off the plane. It's like, man, I respect the guy. Like to jump out of the plane for one, I respect, but to do it with a bunch of money and then to run from the FBI is just next level. But yeah, I thought that was cool. So yeah, that's my 2 theories at the moment.
all right, I have a question about. Did he have 2 flights? The first one where he got the
Yeah.
money in the parachute.
So it's okay. So here's what happened, right? He had technically 2 flights. So they had the Seattle to Portland one, right?
Mhm.
And then he stayed on that plane, held some of the crew hostage, made them drive like another plane, and then or the said same plane, according to reports, it varies because just like, I mean, there's so many varying reports with something as stupid as this, but it's apparently he stayed on the same plane, held the crew hostage, and then they took off, and then he jumped out at a random point, and he just like never to be seen again with all this money. So
Interesting.
And I love how
very
Loki.
interesting.
And I love how Loki just brought it up again.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why whenever I saw the Loki trailer, I'm like, dang, they really just ripped off IMDb.
Why? That's like, it's such a great theory, but also it's so stupid in the same way. Like, why?
Exactly. I
a
mean,
movie-
that's what 90% of theories are, though. To be honest.
That's true. No, actually, I love how most of that, especially like, actually, never mind. I won't go into that because that'll go down a huge rabbit hole.
No. You can't just troll us like that. You got to go down it, bro. You got to go down
I'm
that
talking-
rabbit hole.
All right, I was gonna say like JFK. Like, I don't know if anybody brought up
Oh,
JFK.
yeah. Let's go down that rabbit hole. All right.
The crown jewel of conspiracy theory.
Okay, Ham. I'm just gonna ask this question. I want you to raise your hand if you think that there was multiple shooters in the JFK situation.
I'll put up 2.
I think that there are multiple. All right, wait, Julian, Abdullah, you guys kept your hands down?
Yeah. Well,
Why?
I don't think there's multiple shooters. Well, for starters, it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald like a real bad loner, and like was antisocial and
Yes, that is
like
very true. He was very anti-Kennedy, kind of deferred to the Russians. Yes, and he was a
He
sniper.
was a Russian citizen and worked for the Soviet army. He was a sniper for the Soviet army.
Yeah, so the reason I think about it is just because that there was like a shot apparently that like one of the shots apparently ricocheted and hit Kennedy in the back of the head as well. So it's like, realistically speaking, if he's stationed where they say he was stationed, I mean, it doesn't take 2 and 2 unless this guy is Deadshot and he hit it off a building or like gunpowder from the boys and he hits it off like multiple angles from like he's that type of sharpshooter. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think he's hitting that shot from like ricocheting it off the back of the car through the back of John F. Kennedy's head. So it's like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not that good with the gun. I don't know anyone else that's that good with the gun outside of the ones in the movies. So
what if he just turned his head though?
I mean, but if it's in the back of his head and he's
You
like,
just do, like,
if he's
what if someone
facing to the side too, that like if it enters straight through, that makes it harder if he's turned his head. At least if
Okay,
if you,
we
like,
gotta Google
ricochet
this.
it.
Where was Lee Harvey Oswald in proximity to JFK?
Okay, so
Okay, for this,
for
I'll
those of you,
just say Bollywood movie. It makes more
Yeah.
sense that way.
so for those of you guys who can't see this, so I'm just gonna put this. So imagine,
Wait. I'll just allow you to share your screen.
oh no, I'm gonna do this on the actual camera. So let's say this is Lee Harvey Oswald, right? And this is John F. Kennedy. Harvey Oswald was like right about here, so he was about like what, like 2 blocks away or something like that, and like
I'm just gonna
no,
Google. This is
right?
not working. JFK.
Okay, so Lee Harvey Oswald was in the Texas Book Depository building, which is on the same street as JFK was going down. I've done a lot of listening and research for this. It's so interesting to me. I'm sorry, but he was in the Book Depository building on the 8th floor, and looking down on the JFK on the same street. Okay, there were 3 shots fired. One of them missed. One of them hit JFK, and I think one of them hit the car. But the one that hit JFK went through the back of his head right here and came out at his like abdomen area, bounced up, or somehow bounced up and hit the Texas governor at the time, who was sitting in front of him. So the way the car was that JFK was sitting in, it was convertible, obviously, but it had JFK and his wife in the back, and then not the president, sorry, the governor and his wife in front, and they were facing each other. So like they were all facing each other. And so the bullet hit JFK in the back of the head, like right here, went down through his hand, bounced up into the governor, went through his hand or his leg, and then came out his chest.
So it's like literally a dead
Back
shot.
his chest.
Yeah, it's a dead shot. Like it's essentially like you get like an epic collab. Like it's a kill that if you get it in a video game, you're clipping that and you're uploading to YouTube, getting 3 million likes. Like
Yeah.
Like, what if the
insane.
bullet shattered or something? Like,
And then
we
also
need to
what-
see the
No,
autopsy
the bullet
report.
stayed intact because they
the
found
problem is,
bullet.
yeah, the bullet stayed intact, and also the gun he was apparently using, it can't fire that quickly. So it's like you gotta like reload it and then fire it. So it's like there was apparently rapid succession. So it's like
Wait, but
You have-
how many gun holes did they find inside the car?
Bullet
Oh,
holes.
I
not
think
sure.
just the one. Because
Because then that makes no sense.
exactly.
what do you mean?
Like if there was multiple shooters, there would have been multiple bullet holes from the car.
No, well, the theory that there was multiple shooters comes from the Zapruder films. The only evidence that the U.S. government has of JFK shooting, like the video
That they
evidence.
released, by the way.
Yeah,
that
that they released,
Let's
yeah.
clarify that.
So in that video, you hear 3 gunshots, but you only see 1 bullet hit JFK. So that's where you get the 3 bullet theory. Plus, I think there was a bullet hitting the car, and the way that the gun he had, the scope was like, it was a terrible scope to be using. One, in general, it was a terrible gun to be using to shoot the president. And the distance, like he wasn't far away, but he was far enough where it would have been hard to shoot him dead on. So that's where you get your 3 bullets from.
Yeah, so that's why there's also like apparently there was a lot of people that didn't like JFK in the CIA because of like the stuff he would do. Like either his debauchery or his actual policies. I have no clue. I haven't researched too much about this. I just know enough that I could say there probably is actually multiple shooters in the situation. But it's like the way he was stationed, it's like the only way that they could have happened just based on the film and like the actual autopsy report. Because it's like, how often does a bullet do that inside a body? Like once it hits like a certain point, it's not gonna ricochet inside your body, you know, like and then bounce out, you know. So it's like that's why it's like the option is it's like since there's so little information released about it, it's like that's why people are thinking, oh my gosh, it's like a CIA, like there was like members of his secret service that killed him, you know, because they just didn't like him. So-
Honestly, this whole thing just sounds like the killer was inspired from the killer of Prince Ferdinand, no, King Ferdinand.
No, it's Archduke Ferdinand.
Yeah, Archduke Ferdinand.
Archduke Ferdinand.
It's
Franz
almost
Ferdinand.
the exact
Austrian
same
one?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Dog, have you also seen the similarities between Lincoln and Kennedy?
Oh
Yes,
man,
yeah.
the Lincoln
Hang on, I'll
Kennedy.
read this out for people. You guys keep talking about, but I'll read it out for those who don't know. But I know there's like it's ridiculous the comparison. Okay. Yeah, let me find it really quick.
All right, while he's looking, there are so many theories about Kennedy that spread throughout. Like he mentioned about the CIA and all that. Like there's theories that Lyndon B. Johnson was connected to it. There's a theory that George H.W. Bush, who was president in the 90s, like 30 years apart, was connected to JFK's assassination.
Okay, I got it. All right,
go
so
ahead.
let me read these things out for you guys. All right, so Lincoln and Kennedy comparison. This is getting really, really stupid, like straight off the bat, right? Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. Kennedy was elected to Congress in 1946. Lincoln was elected president in 1860. Kennedy was elected president in 1960. Both were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both wives lost a child while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday. Both presidents were shot in the head. Get ready for this. It gets weirder. Lincoln's secretary was named Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who assassinated Lincoln, was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated Kennedy, was born in 1939. Both assassins were known by their three names. Both names composed of 15 letters. Lincoln was shot at a theater named Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car named Lincoln, or called Lincoln, made by Ford. Booth and Oswald were assassinated before the trials. A week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe. Lincoln was shot in a theater and the assassin ran to a warehouse, and Kennedy was shot from a warehouse and the assassin ran to a theater. So I don't know
Whoa.
about you, but the fact that there's 26 similarities and they're really, really good similarities too. It's not like random BS is like, oh my gosh, Lincoln has an O in his name and John has an O in his name. No, it's like down to the year, like 100 years apart. His vice presidents, like their names are inverted. Like the fact that there's so many is so freaking creepy and also so freaking cool at the same time.
I mean, it's well known that history repeats itself. Like every 100 years, there's been a pandemic. Like 100 years ago, there was the
No,
Spanish.
it's not every 100 years. It's every year that has like the name 20, because you can also, there's like so many other pandemics in history, but it's like every year that had like 20 at the end has had like a pandemic dating back to like the Black Plague or something like that.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
every year.
before that, since like the year 420.
Mhm.
420. Oh wow,
420,
yeah.
then 520 was Justinian, 620 was a version of the Black Plague, all the way till the bubonic plague. And then after that, it became different versions. I forgot the 1821. The 1921 was the Spanish flu. Yeah. And the 2021 was the 2019. Well, I want to say my murder mystery now. It's
Yeah, go
two
ahead.
short
Go ahead.
ones. The first one is about English king that died. So, after the invasion of England by the Normans in around 1100, the son of what, I forgot his name, William the bastard. After he died, the son William II became king of England, but no one liked the guy. So him and his family and his close army went on a hunting mission, and accidentally he got shot in the arrow, and they just left him there. Like, oh shoot, he died. Just leave his body there, and just go back home quickly so I can become king. That's the little brother said. And no one knew a thing until peasants came and was like, wait, isn't that the previous king? And have to put him back, and they actually buried him. And the little brother keeps trying to forget all about, like, oh, that doesn't exist. That was an accident. So people are it's basically the little brother who killed him, but they keep trying to cover it up. And that was in 1100, but in the 1800s, do you guys know Jack the Reaper, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he killed like 5 women around a 2-month period just because he felt like it. And people still don't know why he did that or who he is.
Which, by the way, rookie numbers. I'm just saying, bro. I mean, when you look at nowadays, I mean, people are just getting them, running them up by the hundreds. You know, all they got to do is start the fireworks war, and then they'll just like get like 5 people to their count. It's like these are rookie numbers, bro. You can kill
Well, I mean,
you
at
can
the
kill
time, he
not
was a-
only the men but the women and children too.
oh wow.
Ooh.
But he was a pioneer of that stuff. So because the not the FBI, the policemen at the time, they did not know, they don't know how to do that stuff. So they didn't have any fingerprint stuff or blood testing. So they're basically screwed.
I'm
And,
laughing too hard at my own joke. I had to mute myself. Oh man, sorry, Abdullah. Continue. I'll mute myself, but I'll try to keep a straight face. My bad.
you have to take a minute to pause.
Okay. Just finish your story, Abdullah.
You can't say the murder mystery while laughing about it. That's the point.
It doesn't matter. Just talk.
Let's finish it.
You guys can continue the Kennedy thing, and we'll go back to the Jack the Ripper.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to hear about Jack the Ripper, but just from Abdullah whenever he's laughing hard.
No, just talk
Anyway,
about Jack the Ripper. It's fine.
All the women that were killed were prostitutes, and he actually mutilated their bodies, took all their sexual organs out, and put them as souvenirs in wine bottles. And he gave half a kidney to the police and said, "Here's evidence. Try to find me." The police never found him until now. There's some people like it was really bad. He always cut them in the throat. He opened their bodies and just did whatever trash that he did in there. And people say it might be a Polish Jew that was really good. He was a barber, but he knew how to use knives and stuff. And he always had a knife on him. And he was really rude to prostitutes. So they think it's probably him. And evidence, they actually got one of the dresses of the women that died. They're selling it on auction for some weird reason, but they took the DNA in 2007 and did a test, and it turned out to be that guy. But everyone's like, no, you're just making some weird assumptions. I think it was in Oxford. They wouldn't believe that. And in 2019, they did the same thing. It was the same guy again. But I think since they think it might be anti-Semitic, they won't take that into consideration. There's other people, such as I forgot this one guy, but he hates all women. So, and he always boasts about how he doesn't like them, and if he wants to kill them and stuff. And he has like wine, not wine bottles, but preservatives of women's organs and of all classes. That's what he keeps boasting to people.
So this
He
guy's
later-
essentially an incel, but just back in like the 1800s.
Basically, and he died because at the time being a homosexual was illegal in England, so they just executed him. But there's other people, but basically the main two are those two people, and they're still debating it till now.
Cool.
Not the term I would use, but interesting.
I mean, like, what am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say?
That was
"Oh my
really awesome, guys. I really want to know more.
Hey guys, I
really
think I
love
got a new
more.
inspiration. I mean, like, I always laugh whenever people are like, "Oh my gosh, man, my mom just died." It's like, what am I supposed to tell you? Like, I can't just say I'm sorry. bro.
Congratulations, buddy. You did it.
Exactly. Like, good job, man. It's like I can't tell you anything else other than sorry, but whenever I say sorry, I just sound like a pathetic loser. It's like, oh man.
Dude, sorry your mom died. That's terrible.
It's not your mom day, man. That's terrible. I mean, I can't really do anything for you, but I mean, I'm sorry that it happened. It's like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to
wanna
donate to your?
It's just a
How's
common
that?
courtesy that you say. That's all.
I mean, but still, it's like people are like, I swear sometimes people are like crying when they say it, and it's like then I'm just stuck there feeling awkward, like as I'm like patting them on the back slowly, and it's like giving them like light like taps and stuff. Be like, oh, I'm sorry, man, it's all good. And it's like I can't really say it's all good because their mom just died. It's like, what am I meant to do with that? It's like, or they're like their baby cousin, or like they failed. The funniest one I've ever had was they failed their math exam. And they were like crying about it. I'm like, oh, you'll get it next time. It's like they got a 30, bro. Like you're not recovering from that one.
Get him next time.
I mean,
You're
if you study
recovering
hard
from that
enough and
one.
get like 100, then you can round
Yeah,
it
it's
up
like-
to like a 70.
Yeah, it's like, bro. I looked at him like afterwards, like after he calmed down, I was like, man, you probably should just drop the class, man. You have like a 48 in the class right now, bro. You need to get out, man. You ain't recovering from this one.
What class was this?
It was wasn't pre-cal. What was the math before pre-cal? Not geometry. Was it? It might have
Algebra
been
2.
geometry.
Algebra 2.
It might have been geometry or algebra 2. It was one of the two, but I was just remember looking at him. I'm like, damn, bro, you're screwed. Like, you need to get out of this now, man. While you still have your pride intact.
You know, I've got this amazing story that this mystery's been solved. So basically, in 7th grade, 2 weeks before the last day of school, our teacher said that she was gonna give us, our math teacher said that she was gonna give us a test on the last day of school. And obviously all of us were angry. So one day, later that day, all of a sudden, Nick found her, and Nick and his friends found her on the floor fainted.
Oh, can I tell the story? Can I tell the
Yeah.
story? I think I could do this one justice. All right, okay, so I could say her name now. Her name was Miss Schwarzenberg. Because she got fired recently. So I could say her name with no harm done to me or whatever, right? Look, I personally didn't like her because she got on my butt for not doing homework, but a lot of people didn't like her because I didn't notice this at the time too much, but apparently she was really sexist. Like towards like the girls, she was like favoring the girls. But anywho, so I remember I'm on office aid duty, right? And so for those of you guys who don't know office aid, what you do is you grab like a note or something, you bring it to the class, and you hand the note to the teacher or so, and the teacher was
Wait,
either dismiss the student or
wait.
something like that.
We
Huh?
got 5 seconds, so I'm just gonna make a new Zoom meeting.
There's
Oh,
2
okay. Hang on,
minutes.
I'll resume the story
Yeah,
in a
well, I
second.
have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I got 2
never
minutes
mind.
on mine.
Never mind.
All right, okay,
Continue.
I'll finish. Okay, I'll continue. Right. So, office A, you essentially take all these notes and you pass them around to all separate classes, and you do this for 45 minutes because that's about the length of the period for we'd had. Like it was like 47 minutes or something like that. But anywho, so I remember one of these days I bring it to Miss Schwartzberg's class, and so I remember I gave it to her, and I stay around a little bit because I know a couple of people there, and so what ends up happening is I see this thing in the hallway, right? So I see this full view. I remember Diego was sitting down and she was talking to a student. She was walking backwards and she was like saying good job or something like that. And what ended up happening is she fell backwards and she turned and she like, you guys can't see this, but imagine you put your hand like top down and you like hit your arm to create a 90-degree angle. And she did that, and she apparently broke both of her wrists because both of them landed like that. And she's like, I think she's like a good 60 years old.
Yeah,
So it's like her
60.
grandma like doing this thing, and like she goes like dead still for a second. And I remember me and Cam and Asan are walking back, and I remember what ends up happening is I'm walking away, and then I remember we all just started laughing at the same time. As we're going to get the nurse to bring the wheelchair, as this old lady is passed out and almost dying on the floor. But yeah, that's the story of how I saw Miss Schwarzenberg trip. But anyway, we'll zoom the second half after these short messages.
So you finally made it. What took you so long?
All right, but yeah, so I remember we started laughing as as we're like going to get the nurse in the wheelchair, because we were all like okay, so for those of you guys who never went to Criminal, Criminal is essentially like a a 2-story building, and you got to go down like a few series of stairs because the nurse's office is like right in the front. And so we're like right over the nurse's office, maybe like 100 steps or so away, but we're on the second floor, so we got to go downstairs. So we're like silent on the way downstairs, and the second we get down onto like the ground floor, we just start bursting out laughing. And it's like, in hindsight, it's cruel because it's like an old lady nearly just died in front of us, and we were just laughing about it. It's like that meme. It's like people are dying and you're laughing about it. I don't know. I don't know if Omar's gonna put like the meme like over my voice or something like that. But yeah, it's like that. It's like that meme where it's like people are dying and you're laughing about it. And it's like, yeah, that. But yeah, that's essentially the story of Miss Schwarzenberg, and or as was it Cam that called her this? Miss Schwarzen bitch.
I'm gonna cut that out. But
Well, a year after that, she made everyone put your legs inside the chair, because she doesn't want to trip anymore. So you have to put your legs inside the desk and chair at all times. And 2 years after that, she some kid cursed her out, and she cursed back the kid, and she got fired. So that's the end of her whole teaching career down the drain.
I actually knew a couple people that like saw her running like around recently because they lived in her neighborhood, so they would see her like running around, and they said they would constantly avoid her. So
I actually saw her whenever I was getting pizza the other day.
seriously,
Yeah,
you recognized her? Did she recognize you? That's the real
Oh,
question.
she didn't recognize me.
Oh, then that's good. That's good.
I mean,
That's
you
the
know,
worst time.
You
there's
should have
this.
yelled, "Don't trip."
You tripped her.
I should definitely have said that. But you can actually there's this website. I'm not gonna say the website's name, but you can actually
Tell us off
Oh.
off stream. Tell us off stream about the website.
Or don't talk about don't talk about the website. Talk about off stream.
it's a public website, so it's
Right.
anyone can do it, but I'm not gonna say it. But basically you can search up someone's name on this website who owns a house in the area that we live in, and then you can find their address. Like it's public information, everyone can find it. So yeah, I think I've
it's like a
heard
real
that-
invasion of privacy. We
Yeah,
sure this
it
is
is.
a legitimate
Oh,
website?
this is the government. They don't care.
it's
Nah,
the
this is
it's a government website.
this is gonna be like one of those that I use online where it's like I'm playing with my friend. He's like, "What are you gonna do about it, Nick?" And I'll just read out their address.
It's like
It's like that's your
Donald
address,
Trump
right? Like I'm outside, man. I can see you right now. It's like one of those.
But I think I heard someone saying that they found her address and they TP'd her house or something. Yeah, I heard something like that. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but like it happened.
I mean, I hate to say this about anyone, but if there's any teacher that I've ever had that deserved that, I would say it's her. You
Well,
know,
Yeah.
She
Like-
did some messed up stuff that basically mentally tortured children.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
I
go
mean-
that. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. It's not that
Okay,
deep, bro. But
okay,
it's like
not
it was
mentally
really messed
tortured.
up.
Okay,
Yeah.
not mentally tortured, but like, okay, that's a harsh word, but like it
Hurt
basically
their,
made
hurt their confidence.
children-
I think hurt their confidence a little bit better because it's like she would attack you if you were a dude, or if you got the answer wrong, she would make you feel like you were an idiot or something like that.
No,
So I guess it kind of is a right terminology. It's just really like extreme. It's like calling something like, it's like I hate you because of X reasons. Like unless it's like you murdered my dad or something like that, it's a little bit extreme. It's like I just don't like you as a person. Like that's what it's like the tone that we're going for here. It's not like it's not like she's like a psychopath. She's like tying us up to like a cross and like whipping us or something like that, or like slapping us in the face or something like that every time we get the answer wrong, or hitting us with a ruler or something like that. Like it's not like that.
What she did was like I was trying to help a kid out with math, right? This is before class started. It was Jax. I was helping Jax out. It was a table, me, Omar, Aiden, James, and Jax. I was helping Jax out, and Miss Schwarzenberg came in. She's like, "Why are you talking? I have extra homeworks on you due tomorrow, on top of the
yeah.
homework that we had to do at the same time." And they were not easy. 7th grade math was pretty tough, to be honest. So
I mean, like we can go back to it now. Like I still have my old notes at my house, and it's like I look at it now. I'm like, damn, how did I not get this stuff back then? It's like this is dirt stuff. This is like easy. It's like
Yeah.
y equals mx plus b was flummoxing me, and I'm like, damn, this is like light work for me now. Now I gotta like do like verify all this stuff and draw like a graph on the polar coordinates that turns into a lily for some stupid reason. It's like
But,
why was I flummoxed by y equals mx plus b? I couldn't get slope for the life of me. It's like, was I that stupid?
Anyway, but going back to the
Yeah.
wait. Going back to the story. Whenever the news broke inside our class that she's in the hospital, so feel bad for her. I swear no one was sad. Like everyone was smiling when they heard the news.
It's really messed up because we're like
Yeah.
we're kids, man. We shouldn't be happy that people are hurt at that young age. But like, yeah,
That's how much
none of us
trauma
like
she
this.
caused. That's how
Yeah.
much
Whenever
trauma.
whenever
Hey,
we
why would
gave,
you become a teacher if you were that like if you
Dude,
hated kids like that so much?
you know,
that's
the
not
worst.
that's not the worst thing I did. I heard I used to be in choir back in like 5th grade. So whenever we went to sing to the elderly inside the elderly home, no joke, I was traumatized about what happened. The nurses went and to wake up the old people, they would slap them in the face just to wake up. And they
I
did
mean,
like the cruelest things to them. Just to like
okay. Look, if they're like a super heavy sleeper where you don't know if they're alive or not, that's one thing. But like, yeah, that's pretty messed
no.
up.
Like they like drools coming out and stuff, and they just slapped them to wake up. Like
I mean, I can't speak for nursing homes. I've never been in a nursing home, but that does sound kind of messed up.
it was.
Oh wait, okay, hang on. Okay, speaking of choir, all right, so this is a little bit similar to this. So this is orchestra. This is an orchestra story. So, I don't know if anyone here knows Jay DeLeap or Easton Guamande or Jacob Balbuena. I'm sure like the people who went to our school do, but so anywho, this like I was friends with them in like 8th grade, and we on Fridays we would go to this like Knights for Christ thing. I only went because they had donuts, so I just went to a bit of donuts, but they actually went there, some of them went for there for like beliefs and stuff. But I remember after that I was walking and I was talking to them because we had like I think second period or something like that together. And so what ended up happening is I'm walking in and I'm like, as I'm talking to Jacob, I hear, oh, hey Jay, catch. And it's like the second to last week before 8th grade ends. So it's like the dance is next week. I look over and I kid you not, I see a flying computer just go right over there and just drop right in front of Jay. It turns out Easton threw the whole thing across the whole orchestra hall. And what made it better is it didn't shatter or anything. It just like broke the battery, but he got suspended for the rest of the year. So it's like he couldn't go to the 8th grade dance because he was just like, hey Jay, catch, and he just throws it across. But yeah, so that's a golden orchestra story, just going into the room and having that happen. Because it's like we had just gotten done from worshiping and stuff. And it's like eating donuts and chilling and having a good time. And then we just look over and you just see, woo! Just a huge crack. Oh man, dude, 8th grade Easton, I have so many good stories with Easton.
I know.
Dog, he is. Okay, so I'll tell you this one. I don't know. I wasn't in his class, so I didn't know this one. But according to people, what he tried to do is he tried pouring water onto a table.
Yeah, I was in that class.
Oh, you were in
So,
this guy. You tell the
yeah,
story. You tell the
so
story. You tell the story.
Our Spanish teacher, she got promoted, so we had substitutes for the rest of the year. So one day, Easton was just, he wasn't feeling like doing work. So he got some water and we had like these long fancy tables. So he just poured water all over the table. And then he was like, okay, this, the table's filled with water. So he just dumped the table and like it just it got water all over the floor. Some water came on some people. And then he got written up immediately and went to the principal's. But he did not care at all.
He one time broke the elevator. Like he went inside.
Oh my
he
gosh!
put, like,
Yeah, that reminded me.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can tell the story if you want.
Okay, no, I have a separate story from environmental science. I have 2 of them actually. But you
um,
go first. You go first.
So this was we were doing like recycling stuff because that was a club back then in middle school.
Environmental
So
club,
they-
yeah, or recycling club or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I was in
so-
it. Yeah.
So we're putting all the like trash inside the buckets and putting them inside going to the elevator. Whenever we went to the elevator, I think he put like a card inside the elevator so it shut down. And he got stuck in the
Yeah,
that's
so
all.
yeah, he just like he pressed like the emergency brake button while he was inside it. I remember this. I think I was in y'all's group because I remember I was at the bottom waiting for him. I'm just like sitting there for like 10 minutes. I'm like, damn, how long does it take him to get to the elevator? Do you have to go to the bathroom or something like that? And it turns out I'm like, I go upstairs. I'm like, Easton, where it's like, where's Easton? I remember you guys are like over there, and you guys are just like starting to laugh. I'm like, what's going on, bro? Where's Easton? He's like, he's stuck. He's like, what do you mean he's stuck? He's stuck. He's like, he broke the elevator. So it took him like what, an hour or something like that to get over here and fix it. And so he's just stuck in there for an hour. Oh man, dude, Easton was so stupid, but he was so funny at the same time. Like there was a time I remember, okay, so I got two stories, right? So I remember so for those of you guys who don't know, so our dumpster as per usual was outside. So we had to roll these huge cartons of paper on these like trolleys and stuff. So that's why we had to take the elevator. So we had to roll them on these huge trolleys. And so sometimes, sporadically you might have like a paper fly out or anything like that. But like it rarely happened if you were going slow. So what ended up happening is Easton's dumbass thought, hey, yo, let me run with this thing. So he runs the whole length of the cafeteria, slams open the door like with his back, continues running, and he forgets that there's a ledge. Like there's a little ledge. And so when he does that, he trips and the whole thing goes flying. And it's like, it's a hallway's worth of like a good hallway or two's worth of paper just goes flying into the air. And we're just like ahead of him and we're like looking back, we're like, ah, and so we look at him and he's just like standing there, we're like, what are you doing, dude? Just collect the paper. He's like, he just starts running all over. He starts running all over the place, and he's like, this goes on for 15 minutes, by the way. Like we take our trolley and go and like dump it out, and we come back and he's like still running around, still collecting it. By this point, it's reached the grass, which for those of you guys who have never been to Criminal, that's like 100, 200 yards away. It's reached the grass at this point. He's like frolically like running around like an absolute maniac, trying to find all this paper that he, spilled. And then on the way out of the actual environmental club, same day, by the way, he decides to like piggyback on the railing and he nearly falls off. But he's like, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but it's like you jump on the actual railing and he puts his like chest and his like balls on it and he's like slides down like a fireman, but except it's at like a slanted angle and it's like really uncut. Like I've done it like once or twice when it's like I'm the only one in the place. It's like I got nothing better to do. Let's have some fun. But it's like it hurts, and so I've only ever done it once. Dog, he did it like 3 times in a row. I'm like, damn, what is wrong with this kid? But yeah, just a little bit of Easton stories. I'm sure there's some more that we could think of, but I mean, I think we've told enough.
You got any stories, John?
I never went to. I didn't go to public school when I was for.
Like, did you have any crazy stories in your school?
Oh,
You didn't
let
even
me
go to
think.
public school. You went to private school.
Yeah, I
They're
went
like
to
all
private school, so
they're all
like
posh. They never do anything wrong.
no. I mean, at school, no crazy story. I mean, we had a kid get like the cops came to the school and stuff, and they searched the car because the kid found a knife. Like, I went to a private school, like a religious private school, right? And the story goes is that I was in my math class or something, and it was facing the parking lot, and we just see like 4 cop cars pull up into the parking lot, and it was a small school, so like the parking lot's not that small, not that big. We had about 300 school kids in the school, so the cops pull up, and they just start like flashlights in each car. Like one, that's an invasion of privacy for everybody that like wasn't getting searched or whatever, but nothing like goes crazy in school or anything. Like we didn't have a lockdown, but later I learned that the cops were searching for a knife in a car. Like a kid's, like it's a pocket knife, what the story goes. But the rumors were that, hey, this kid was gonna come and like try to stab a girl that like cheated on him or something.
Oh,
Yeah. But the kid that had the pocket knife, like, says, "Oh, it was a pocket knife my dad gave me because now he's in the army or whatever." But yeah, then now there was that. We got a kid get arrested or couldn't graduate because he was like selling drugs to his school. He got caught, so they took off the bathroom doors to the boys' bathroom at least.
dude, that's crazy.
Nothing. Yeah, I mean that's crazy, but nothing too crazy.
I mean, we once had. I mean, I wasn't here. I heard this from my sister. But in our middle school, there was this girl who was fighting another girl, and like they were like throwing fists and stuff. So the cops came to stop them, and the girl went and punched the cops, so she got arrested and like taken away. This is in middle school. I don't know what was in her mind, but she was arrested. And there
Clearly
was
pent up rage.
and there's this other guy in a different high school in our district who thought it was a great idea to bring fireworks inside a water bottle, and he lit it up during lunchtime in the cafeteria. 5 people had to be sent to the hospital because of that. And
Oh my
like
God.
I lost the footage. I wish I had it. But basically it was this green firework that just exploded in the middle of lunch.
Wait, are you talking about the Klein Forest situation?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I might actually still have the video. I'll have to ask Nolan for that, but I'll send that to you guys, and you
Because-
guys can post that in like post editing or something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
If I can find it, it's a pretty good one because people made a meme out of it. It's if you guys know the shot by iPhone meme, people took the grainy footage of it and put it over shot by iPhone. And I'll ask Nolan right now before I forget. But yeah, that was a pretty good meme. Yeah.
And
Hey, Julian, you
I-
got any stories? I know you gotta have some IB stories, bro. You've been awfully quiet. You gotta have some IB stories, bro.
I don't know. Like, I think.
Nick, did you
What
hear?
was, Jacob Bueno or whatever?
Yeah.
So, the sugar packets that you put in tea? Like,
Oh, I think
let me tell you. Okay,
I know
the
this
sugar
one's
packets you put in tea, like you put it to make iced tea. So like I sugar packet for Arizona, it's really concentrated. It's really sweet. So you're supposed to mix in a lot of water and shake it around, and then you'll make tea. But I was like, hey Jacob, you want some like candy? It's kind of like pop rocks. You just put it on your tongue. So he opens the little snack packet, opens it up, puts it all on his tongue, and like this thing is super concentrated. And like one little like nibble, and it's bad. He puts all of it on his tongue. He just coughs it everywhere. He just dumped it on there, like it's just a giant cloud of smoke just shot up from his mouth. I don't know. That's all I got.
Like,
There's probably some
remember-
other ones I don't remember.
There was this one time when me and Julian were in comp sci class, and apparently Jacob was bored. So what he did was he got a lifesaver, a mint lifesaver, and basically chopped it up until it was like a fine powder, and then he went and snorted it.
I think here's one. What's it called? So last year, senior year, all the IB students did an assassin game, like an assassination game. So like you each get a person, you kill them, it goes on and on and on.
Wait,
I
how
think it's
many
like a
people were in
circle.
this? How many people were in this? How many people were in this?
Maybe like 10 or 12. Those are the only IB students on campus. Okay, so basically, if I remember it. So basically, it got to the point where it was just the 5 of us, me, Isaac, I think a couple other people. So basically, it got to the point where I was so paranoid that I was gonna die that I would just like look over my shoulder constantly. And like it's like the end of the year, I have no classes. So I was just chilling with Natalia because she could kill Isaac, and I could kill Faisal, but Isaac could kill me. So it was like a giant circle. So I was hiding by the person who could kill Isaac the entire time. And like I skipped a lot of classes just because I didn't need to go to them. They're done. So I just hung out in English, watched movies. So then the entire day's passed, and I'm like, oh well, I guess Isaac's not here. I waited, like I had swim 7 periods, I can go home early. So I waited like 10 minutes, 7 periods started. I start walking down the hallway. I go through the cafeteria, and Isaac is hiding by the staircase. I have no idea how he tracked me down because I was in English the entire like day. I'm like, Natalia, I have a feeling that he's gonna get me, but I don't know when or where. Like he was hiding, but like 7 period has started already. 10 minutes have passed. And he's hiding there under the stairwell, just waiting for me. I immediately full sprint all the way back to English. I'm like, Natalia, he's outside. She goes outside, and there's no one there. And like Natalia's been trying to kill Isaac for like the past week now. We ambushed him in every single classroom, like during class, during lunch. It's been crazy. So I come up with this strategy of how to kill Isaac. And step one, I gotta convince 3 other people to text him at the same time. Like, hey, Natalia died. So I'm trying to fake Natalia's death here. So I'm like, okay, Natalia, here's the strategy. Here's what you have to do if you want to get Isaac. If he comes up to you and he's like bragging how he's alive, you cannot get him. You have to wait and like play the long game, right? So I'm like, okay. So I text Isaac. I'm like, dude, Natalia just died trying to get Chick-fil-A because we had Chick-fil-A days, right? Like it was brutal and everything. It was just so horrible and sad. Then I text then I get Gareth to text him, and then like one more person, and like not all at the same time. Like I space it out because it's like it's been a giant rivalry the entire time. Who's gonna win, Natalia or Isaac? So I basically like an hour has passed. I'm swimming my laps with the team, right? I check my phone. I have 15 messages, and 5 of them were like from Natalia. Like, OMG, I got Isaac. I killed him. He came up to me to brag. Like, oh, that sucks. Blah 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 blah. Oh, I'm so sorry he died. And he turns his back on her, and she got Isaac. Meanwhile, I have like 10 messages from Isaac, like, WTF, dude, Natalia's alive. I had no idea. You tricked me. This is funny.
Dude, under
yeah.
any other circumstance, that would sound really bad.
Yeah, but like it was really fun because like he got cocky. I tricked him in thinking that Natalia actually died when she wasn't, and he came up to her like an hour later bragging about it. I thought he'd be smarter than that, but he wasn't. Yeah, that's all I got for stories.
There was one time where we were playing Nation States a while back, and yeah, Nation States was quite a journey, but we all had this huge group, and another group came and tried to infiltrate us and try to like take all the power away, and it was crazy, but eventually we got power back, and it turns out everyone just collapsed on the other side, so we just took over them. Yeah.
So
Man, it was fun. I literally made it illegal to get a haircut. I banned guns, and the newspaper article literally the newspaper article was like only the criminals have guns now.
I should, you know what? I'm gonna try to log into my nation states and show you exactly what nation states is.
Dude, my economy was great. The challenge was to have a great economy, but have like no liberty, no civil rights, no nothing.
Hey, wait, I just restored my account. I'll just show you exactly what Julian's talking about.
Did he hear what happened to Miss McMahon?
Miss McMahon.
Yeah.
Who's Miss McMahon?
The Spanish
Dance
teacher in
teacher.
high school?
Oh yeah, the one who died. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so this is my nation. Can you guys see this?
Oh, you're a powerhouse? Dang.
So basically, this game you can make your own rules, pass laws. Like my people are called my capital is Nightmareopolis. I'm
I want you
the
to know mine.
Nightmarian Empire. This is really bad, but my currency is people, and my national animal is people as well. But the policies were awesome. Like I was a theocracy and autocracy, which means there's no democratic elections. There was no state press. They all came under me. There's no basically all public protests were illegal. Marriage was prohibited. Homosexuality was illegal. Abortion was illegal. Organ harvesting was compulsory. You have to have a parenting license to have children. And there's some crazy ones like, all these law and order stuff. Down here, socialism was the economy. Internet was banned. Automobiles were banned. Slavery was legal. That's horrible. I know that, but I was just choosing the worst things for this one. Video games were banned. My nation was ruled by nuclear weapons. No, my power source was nuclear power. Aircraft was banned. You can't leave or enter my nation, and weapons of mass destruction were prevalent in my nation. And then over here, you can see the leading causes of death: bungee jumping, work, acts of God, heart disease, war, disappearance. Oh, this is a big one. Then like suicide in police custody, stuff like that. But like there was weird laws that I passed. Like apparently they believed that pizza could cure cancer. Like they prayed to like pizza gods or whatever. And then my army, the front line defense was a whole bunch of toddler babies, like crawling babies, and strapped onto their back was machine guns. So they were my army's front line defense. It was just crazy stuff. This game was epic.
I'm trying to log into my old one because I remember I had like the greatest nation of all of us because I remember I was the only one that had like the ultra rare card or something like that. Because you remember how they had those cards and stuff? I remember I
It
got
ruined
mine.
my nation, right? Like I had a great economy and ever, and like he clicked something on my screen and it just tanked it immediately.
Yeah, because I remember we went to battle or something like that, and it just like tanked your. If you lose like so many battles or something like that, it tanks your economy.
Oh,
But I
really?
remember on
Uh,
mine it
That's
was
not
like
not.
everything was in the high 90s and stuff like that. I was like a blossomy state. But I remember I also had like a really weird law. I don't remember what it was because I can't log in right now. But I logged into my other one. It's called the oppressed nation of brothers from another mother. And it has like the Cuban flag and the message is stop reading my motto.
but
So
basically, this nation, the nation I have, basically a quarter of my economy is the black market because I just banned everything. You can see how dumb my people are because I banned education. Let me see.
civil right. I remember, yeah, who is it? Julian, your civil rights was like dead last. It was like there's no civil rights, no political freedom, and like a booming economy. I remember yours was pretty funny to look at.
Mhm.
The ignorance of my people is like 61%.
Just plain dumb.
Anyway, go to the cards. Go to the cards. I want to see what your rank is.
Oh,
I
one
want to see
more
what your card
thing.
is.
Lifespan. The lifespan. Oh, it's very good. Dang it.
I mean, not really. It's
Uh,
kind of meh.
there was another one. How advanced is my nation? Primitiveness. Here. Yeah, my nation was pretty primitive. We had no technology at all. I think I was in the negatives for scientific discoveries.
I'm trying to log into Bond again.
Yeah, I was down in the negatives.
Negative 200.
But yeah, this was a awesome game. Like this was one of the cool nations I owned.
The heck?
Oh, I found it. I can reset my password now. It's the Confederacy of Rogue Nations. I'm gonna play
Anyway,
this again now. You got me back into it.
but yeah, you can make
I
your own
thought I just saw
nation.
George Washington on the tri sub.
Yeah, that's exactly what he saw. He saw George Washington on the Triceratops. Let me show you guys. I can't zoom in. Um,
Alright, let me
anyway,
try this again.
do you guys want to go back to the theory?
I want to show you my nation so
Look.
I get it logged in. Let's see. I think I got it now.
I can't log in, bro.
You use
Okay,
your
wait.
school email. I use my school email for mine.
Huh?
I use my old school email.
Yeah, I can't log into my old school email. It tells me I got kicked out.
Mine hasn't.
What?
Just type it in.
Yeah, you have to click on.
Omar, just let share screen so Johnny can control his nation.
Well, I got to do it real quick.
All right.
I think I reset my password. So let's try this.
My nation was the only one that was actually supposed to. I was trying to make mine actually the best nation possible, and sometimes when I thought it was gonna be a good idea, what I wanted, it turns out it will tank the economy. So the economy always falls, even though my civil rights are always up. You should join the game, John.
Yeah,
I
I feel
think
like
Omar showed me at one time.
yeah, I did. But I think you would
I
like
thought
it.
about it.
Oh, I did it.
Yeah, I'd
Hey,
probably be like a ruthless dictator though. Like my country would go to crap.
I mean, yeah, my civil rights are outlawed, political freedom's outlawed, but my economy is a powerhouse. So basically, I just do everything that's best for my economy. I could care less about people, my government.
can you give me
I'm
power
a-
to share screen? I got it working again.
I would
Okay.
definitely be doing the same thing.
Share screen.
So guys,
I
when
think
I
it's-
run for president of the United States in 2024, please vote for me.
All right, here's my Confederacy of Rogue Nations. I'm working on it. I dropped it for a while, but my motto is does this smell like chloroform? And then
Hey, does this smell like chloroform?
How do I, what's it called? Showing my stuff.
Um,
It's been a
you-
while.
you see the under thriving. That's what you look at.
Okay.
Wait, no, not that. Right next to
Oh,
it. So yeah, that.
Oh, here we go. I had capital punishment, curfew, no prisons, I have ID chips, no internet, marijuana is legal, no video games. I do a space program though. No immigration. Yeah, I don't have as much as Omar, but
Wait, what's body integrity? Oh, I mean that's good.
yeah, let's see. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
body integrity. I made it illegal for body modifications, so you can't get haircuts. You can't cut your.
Wait, really? Wait.
That's what it said in the newspaper article.
Okay, hang on. I can read what my old thing was. So it says the Kingdom of France Jr. was a massive cultured nation ruled by Joe Mama with a fair hand and notable for its smutty television, digital currency, stringent health and safety legislation. The compassionate, hardworking, democratic, yada yada, and sort of sensible mix of personal economic freedoms, while the political process is open and people's right to vote held sacrosanct. It's average income tax is 69%, lol, and even higher for the wealthy. Frighteningly efficient French junior economy is worth 369 moles a year, led by the tourism industry. The average income is 95,000. A ban on robots in disguise has transformed the entertainment industry. Masson's iconic yellow taxis are nowhere to be seen. The dessert, Death by Chocolate, isn't the most lethal dish on the menu, and there's more than one way to skin a diplomat. Crime, especially youth-related, is totally unknown thanks to a capable police force and progressive social policies. My national animal is the orca, which frolics freely in the sparkling oceans, and the national religion is Episcopalianism. While my civil rights are excellent, my economy is frightening, and my political freedoms are excellent.
This
So
you see
you're the
this part.
opposite
This is
of mine.
where Nick ruined my economy.
And then
Just-
le temps es limité, mas pas regulations à leal. It means the time is limited, but the breadsticks aren't. That's my motto.
Oh, my capital city is Slaughter City, aka Labor Camp 060903. Cocaine coin is my currency. Oh, yeah, that's it. How do I stop sharing?
President Sumrak.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys want to go back to what were
Murder
we talking
mysteries.
about? Yeah, murder mysteries and conspiracies.
Nah, I know the Rogue Nations now. Look at this first title, Buy a Better Baby. I mean, of course I'm gonna click it.
Oh, hey, I think I'm about to be able to log in. Yeah. Oh, I logged in. Let's go.
Oh God.
We reaccepted the passion of Rogue of that nation states.
John, you should definitely join. It's a really fun game.
Hey, can
I'm thinking about it. It seems fun.
Can I share my screen really quick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
share the
can.
screen.
I see my screen or no?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, there we go. Wait, hang on, let me see my cards. I forgot my. I think I probably dropped a bit.
Well,
I'm gonna be
see,
honest.
Nick joined when we were doing a conversation at the time how we could ruin everything else except the economy, and he didn't do that.
Yeah, I went for everything to the top. Yeah, and I don't know if y'all can see that.
We do.
Everything's like pretty high up. No, I don't know. I'm talking to the people. Hey, I gotta move this screen really quick for me so you guys can see that. But yeah, look at that, man. Look at that world rank. I haven't played this game in ages, but I'm still in the top 10% for the economy. Let's go. Look at me, man. All
Oh,
the
you-
private industry, no black market, because everything is legal. Oh my god. Although 40% of the government is founded, so that's kind of sucky. But you know what? We live. Hell, let me see the deaths. I forgot about the deaths really quick. Oh wait, I thought it was suicide in police custody was 90%. No, it's just old age. Orca attack is pretty funny. Lost in wilderness, and it's suicide in police custody makes up the slice. Mostly what fruit's purple? I'm trying to think of it like a pie that's purple, like blackberry pie or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Lunkenberg, yeah.
Yeah.
Bones.
Devolution. Oh yeah, I forgot about these. Compulsory organ harvesting, parental licensing, capital punishment. Oh, that was a golden one.
ID
Space
chips.
program, weapons of mass destruction. That's good. I remember I dropped the nuke on Julian's thing. Anyway,
Yeah, he
you
did.
logged in. I think I'm actually gonna go and challenge your nation really quick.
I don't
Me?
think you
Yeah,
can't
I don't know
find.
if you're still in it. What's the name of your nation, Julian? I'm just trying to.
I'm Rogue Nations, the Confederacy of Rogue Nations.
Oh well, yeah. Am I not in it? No, I got kicked out. Wait, did I get
Yeah.
kicked out?
You got
Yeah.
kicked out.
Are you serious? You guys kicked me out?
No,
Damn, I see how it is.
because your nation ceased to exist, so it automatically kicks you out.
Oh, send
That's
me
what
an
happens.
invite. Someone send me a telegram.
I don't have my account.
What?
Yeah, I got kicked out too.
We all got kicked out.
Gosh darn
We need
it.
to form a new party, a new faction, guys.
Wait. Go to the
Scroll up,
top.
scroll up.
What? Give
All
us
the
a
way up.
break, your mama. Recent opinion survey carried out by the Joe Mama fan club as that you're the most beloved and accomplished head of state in the history of French Jr. The suggestion that to celebrate the good news, a brand new public holiday will put the hoi polloi in even greater admiration of your glorious leadership. Patriots Day, exclaims Rosalia Steele, an excitable junior civil servant who carries a picture of you in her wallet. Ooh, that's great, and is always trying to get you to notice her. The national anthem would be played all day long on TV and radio. Ooh, this sounds even better. There'd be carnivals on the streets casing our traditional clothes, dance, music, and food. We fund with kids too, decorate bicycles, yada yada yada. 60-foot tall portrait of myself, our most beloved leader. Ooh, I'm already liking that. Celebration isn't a bad idea, but you're looking at it from the wrong perspective. And Armed Forces Day is what we need. 1 million armed men and women marching perfect.
Dude, I love
unity.
that one.
Nah, we're not doing that one.
Our
All
Forces
civi-
Day, come on.
All the civilians can
The
be
last
forced
one's
to be
always
spectators.
dumbest.
Now that was the funniest one because it says all civilians can be forced to be spectators. They wouldn't dare oppose considering all the guns on the show. Public holidays are a tradition of religion. Why don't we celebrate the holy moment of creation of the world? I'll pass on that one. Naked Truth Day. Oh man, this is good.
Dude.
Yells the next speaker who struts into your office totally butt naked, stands directly in front of you without shame. Luckily, there's a framed photo of your parents on your desk that is perfectly located perfectly to avoid any offending sight. We need a day where every citizen can be free as Mother Nature intended. A day when you, Joe Mama, stand before us as to say, I have nothing to hide, and we bask in joint consensual nakedness. It'll be a great chance to educate everyone on the benefits of nudism. Even prudes will come around to the idea eventually. And then Jin Osborne, the top undertaker in French Junior. Haven't had a day off for 25 years. I don't need a day off. Work side. We don't need a public holidays. We don't need any public holidays to get rid of them all. Nah, I want a 60-foot tall. Give me the 60-foot tall. Please tell me that boosted my economy. Oh, we got less than a minute, by the way.
I
That's
mean,
fine. I'm gonna log off after this. I'm going to watch TV.
Uh,
I got honored with the new statue, guys.
Lightning
Let's go.
strikes at Bang cabin.
Yeah, flush with cash. Our shopping guide inside. Government bigger, better for him.
you're,
your
You're
intelligence
you're-
went down.
I can give or take that. What's good is business is booming. Our economic output and our economy and tourism got boosted. I'm all for it. Collisions between bicycles and carnival floats are on the rise. That's
well,
good.
I think that's the end of this podcast.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we've had a fun time, boys. Also, quick plug-in. If you guys want to go watch some great content, go watch my YouTube channel, Nick Hobbs. Yeah, he's a great YouTube channel if you want tier videos and stuff like that. It's a little bit less cringy than whatever they just posted recently where Julian parked in 3 spaces at once.